Welcome to the Pool Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-host, John JJ Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
Welcome, everyone, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. I am your host, Edgar De Jesus, and yes, I am the reigning champion of Marco Polo, along with John J.J. Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and the famous Zach, the Pool Boy Nicholas. Today, we talk to Kim Levin, VP of Sales and Marketing, and Robert Rankin, Regional VP West Division at Heritage Pool Supply. And guess what we get to do? We spill the tea today, baby. I want to welcome everyone to our live podcast, the podcast where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting and splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. And yes, we will talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. But before we get started today, I want to thank our sponsors for this podcast, the SPPA, Ultimate Pool Tools, Pool Invoice, Blu-ray XL, Aquastar Pool Products, Natural Chemistry, Raypack, and our friends Heritage Pool Supply Group. We want to thank them for their continued support. Mr. Zacharias, good morning.
Good morning. I'm just wondering where you are because I can't see you today.
I'm the least important, so I just kind of cut out. You know how we roll.
I thought we got him kicked out, John, but...
Exactly, right? One step closer. We're there. Almost.
Yeah, no. I'm excited to be here today to finally spill the tea. I wish I was there in studio with you guys. I know it's always a blast when we get together in the studio. But before we jump in today, I know you guys, you can see I'm representing today with the hat. And I got to ask, have I shared the story on how I got this hat?
No.
So the Southwest show was a couple of weeks ago, and I was at the show and they were closing up, and I was talking to someone, and this Heritage guy came up and started talking, and he had a hat on. And I was like, oh, dude, that hat is awesome. And I love my hat. I was like, can I get one? And he comes back, he's like, oh, we don't have any more, but here you go. And he takes his hat off. And he's giving me his hat. And I'm like, nah, man, no, you can keep your hat. Thank you. And so then someone came running up and they're like, we found one. It's the last one. So I got to snatch the last hat. But I was like, man, this guy's willing to give me his own hat in order to make me happy today. So I thought that was pretty cool.
John, my friend, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Edgar, I want to say I'm proud of you that you did not screw up the intro this time, because
I had a lot of pressure because I screwed it up on Kim last time. I'll be honest, I was a little nervous before we went into that intro.
You did very well. I'm going to spill the tea. I'm going to let you know now that you were one step away from getting fired from doing the introduction. Look, we've had the pleasure to have Kim on now multiple times, and she can be a co-host now.
You know, here's my thoughts on that. So John and I were having a conversation, and we'll talk about it, but we'll talk about what you have been able to pull off in 3 months. And John came to me and said, we've been working on something for about a year, and you haven't been able to pull it off. And Kim pulls off something bigger than you in 3 months. So that makes total sense why you're coming up with that.
Well, I have to say, it's not just me that is pulling this great program off. It's a lot of wonderful, brilliant people back on our team.
You always make me sound so terrible.
What do they say? The key to success is train your replacement.
Right? True.
Look at that. I'm not even on the screen up there, so I think that's why HR called afterwards after the podcast. They wanted to see me.
If Zach didn't say it, I wouldn't have even noticed it. So it was quite the experience already. I've been, how many times? Last time Janie and I were here, which was the week before last, we sat and we were talking and go, God, we've been here so much, it feels like a second home already. And we were trying to figure out and say, hey, we can't even count how many times we've been here. But as used to Texas as we are, yesterday we had quite the experience. So I'm a desert rat from Palm Springs area where we get maybe an inch of rain total a year, if that. Sometimes it's even like half an inch a year. And last night with the tornado warnings and the hail warnings and the severe thunderstorms and those sirens going off, like, you know, you would think in Kansas when we were watching, like, what was it called, Twister or whatever, the tornado. We're sitting there going, like, I want to go home.
Zach, you should have seen him last night.
It was crazy.
They were in the truck listening to all the radio. Every time they said something about power, they're like, oh, Edgar, is that okay? Are we far? Are we close? I'm like, just relax. It'll pass in about 30 minutes.
It was crazy. We came out here because we're in need of a new truck. We went to California, or where we live in California, to go buy a truck, and nothing is on the dealer lot. So we did our research and said, hey, we also have a home out here in Texas, so let's look out here. Edgar brought up another great point, so I checked it out, and sure as hell, this dealership, the Ram dealership, had 300 of them, right? Where we had 3 of them to choose from where we were at.
It is Texas.
And I'm like, wow, okay, so let's go over here. So we ended up getting the truck last night, brand new truck, and we're driving it in this tornado, right?
With hail coming
down, right? So we're like, what are we doing? So we were booking it. I mean, we were booking it, and everybody, it was just like in the movies. And then we're like, okay, we're going to go to Maker's Gym. We're going to go where our studio's at because there's 2-story protected parking, and we'll be able to park there. I guess everybody had that bright idea because it was jam-packed, and this was like at 9 o'clock. So we went in there, and we got safe haven for about an hour there. But it was a fun experience, so I never had it before. But
should we break the news to him that it gets worse than that?
It's coming. Here's the funny thing, Zach. So they're driving, right? We're going up Preston, and they're weaving in and out of traffic, and John's on the phone going, book it, Janie, book it. And I'm like, John, just drive. You're fine. It's just some wind. You're fine.
You're not actually in the movie.
Yeah.
This isn't Twister.
And then we stop. We literally stop at El Dorado, and there's the 7-Eleven right there in the corner. We're the very first car, and all of a sudden a transformer, Zach, blows, and it sparks like out of a movie.
all the lights go out, right?
All the power goes out. John's freaking out, and he's like, I'm going to go through this light. I'm going to go through this light. I'm like, John, just relax.
Dude, you make me out to be. It's not that dramatic.
We were going down Preston at 95 miles an hour, cutting in and out of traffic.
Oh, whatever. But yeah, so that was my morning. But I'm glad to be here. I'm excited to have you guys. And finally, we get to talk about this program.
Out loud.
I know, out loud, and share it with everybody, because God knows we have received so many messages from people saying, what is it, what is it, what is it? And I have a good, close group of friends that I talk to every single day. It's the pool guys that I spoke about on the live. They're like, well, why don't we know? Well, why don't we know? And I go, well, you'll find out when we release it, when we talk about it today on the podcast. This is a big step in the right direction, and I'm excited to hear about this, and I'm excited to see everybody's reaction from it and how successful it's going to be. So thank you guys for taking the time to come down here. I know you're very busy doing what you're doing, and it says a lot that people of your caliber are willing to come down and spend time with us to talk about this, and so we can get the message out to what we believe is the heartbeat of the industry, the pool pros out there.
I do want to let your listeners know, because I know we discussed this, but Dave Cook was planning to be here, but unfortunately he lost a dear friend this past weekend. Robert knows him very well. Maybe Robert.
Rusty Sexton, one of the original founders of SCP, unfortunately passed. Rusty had an amazing life, is a Texan, and was here in Dallas in the early part of his life, and so this is where it would be buried, and Dave is actually a pallbearer, and going to be there. I think the ceremony's at 11 o'clock. So
another legend gone.
Another legend. And we keep talking about it, John. We need to do something about it, because we have so many legends passing away that we got to get a lot of these stories, because if you think about it, it's the beginning of our journey, the industry. Robert, we'll talk about it today, but you were there, at the whole beginning of the whole SCP thing. So there's so many great stories there.
There is, and they're unsung heroes, right? They're the ones that paved the way for what the success that we have now. And they're just like the unsung heroes in the industry, and they need to be recognized.
Well, I thought you really framed it well at the awards, where you said, we want to step up and do this now, not in memoriam. We want to recognize, and as you say, there's so many people. We wouldn't be doing this today at this level, especially if they hadn't paved the way. And some of them did take those steps, like Rusty, to take a company public when it didn't even exist. Ron Hetzner at Orcal to start Oric and do some things well beyond that and still be viable 30 years later after he sold the company. It's just amazing stories. So I really appreciate you guys saying, you know what, we're not going to wait. We're going to start doing this now. I thought that was awesome. I think it is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. John, I just want you to know that I got a message from somebody that said, can Edgar and John stop talking and tell us what it is and spill the tea? Just to let you know. They just sent me a text. They're like, can you please stop? Let's get Kim and Robert to say good morning. So good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. So happy to be back here. I had so much fun last time we were all together and really looking forward to sharing with your listeners the new program we put together.
Absolutely. Robert, good morning.
Good morning. I'm very excited to be here. I watch frequently, and so it's really interesting to be a part of it. It's a different dynamic.
Absolutely. We're super excited to have you here.
So before we get into the program, okay, let's get some background so everybody understands who you guys are, your journey through the pool industry, and how you ended up here at the studio with us.
Absolutely.
Doing the podcast.
I'll go first because mine's a shorter journey in the industry than Robert's, and less exciting. But I actually started in the pool industry 15 years ago in 2008 with a company called Poolmaster. It's a manufacturer of pool maintenance products and recreational products. And I spent 6 wonderful years with Lee Tager and his family that owns the business, and learned so much from him and really grew to love the industry. But at the end of 6 years, I had another great opportunity and decided to move on and have been, in 6 different industries now. And my recent one was in irrigation, and that's when Dave gave me the call when he came to Heritage and told me about the opportunity and asked if I was interested. And it just really sounded so incredible. I was very happy with where I was at. I'm an investor, an advisor, but the picture Dave painted, I just couldn't resist the opportunity. So the arc of my career is started as a plant manager in building materials, and then quickly moved over to sales and marketing and decided to stay there. Not that I didn't love being a plant manager. And then I've worked for consumer product manufacturers my entire career and worked with all different segments like we have in the pool industry. So contractors, retailers, builders, distributors, right? So I'm so happy to be here again and run into the people I've learned to love and be part of this really great relationship-driven industry. And it's been so fun. And now I'm back, though, with all the experience I had while I was away, and I feel just so energized that we can do something great.
So, Robert, what about you? Tell us your backstory.
Absolutely. So I started at Orcal Pool Supplies in 1989, just earlier Ron Hetzner, and I was just a young guy, just moved to California and took the first job. I just needed to do something until I was going to do the real thing. And I really enjoyed it. It was something completely out of context for me of what I'd done. My mother owned small grocery stores here in Texas. And so I just did that and started learning a lot of things that were uncharacteristic of what I'd been in, really enjoyed it. And really enjoyed the family aspect of it with Ron and his family. Pool Corp came in, or SCP came in 94, and that was their first West acquisition, and got a chance to come on board that company as it was in a high growth mode. Rusty Sexton, who we spoke about, who passed last week, was really the patriarch at that time, and I just found an incredible mentor that gave me every opportunity, more opportunity than I ever dreamed of. And then that doubled down into Manny Perez, who was one of the most exceptional leaders I've ever been around to this day. And then that dovetailed into Dave Cook. And it just, fortunate, doesn't even begin to explain the opportunities I've been given in this industry. And I really had planned to be there till I didn't want to work anymore. And Dave, to his character, never reached out, never made it difficult for me and said, I'm over here, you ought to do it. He knew that I was in a really good place and a really great company. And it was a chance meeting with Matt and Andrew and ultimately with Dan Tinker that just really changed my way of thinking. And it brought me back to what I remember with Ron Hetzner and early years with Rusty and Dave. And, at my age, I just thought I have one chance left. I'm either got to stay where I'm at and try to do the best I can and enjoy it, or I could really change my life and my direction and maybe have a chance to do something super special. That's what I felt that day, that evening. I'll never forget it. And that's how I feel today.
That's absolutely awesome. And again, we talked about it a little bit, right? But what an opportunity to have 2 chances to go into do 2 big companies. And so that's just absolutely.
Well, you start at the beginning, you help create an industry, help form it. And now you're in a position to help change it and move us in the right direction. It's pretty cool if you really think about it. I can't really articulate a better way to say it other than that's pretty neat that you have that opportunity. Not many people have that opportunity to do it, and to be in a position like yourself and everybody over at Heritage with the mentality and the type of drive that you guys have to accomplish what you're looking to do, I think it is just pretty astonishing.
I don't want to get too sappy here, but believe big on your why, whatever that is, and as a person, as a company, and as I spoke about it on Wednesday night, is the give back. And the give back can be a lot of things. And for me, and my why while I was with SCP was growing talent. I loved finding young men and women and going, what do you want to do and how do I help you get there? And then sometimes the most beneficial is you don't even know what you could be and what you can do. And I would like to show you that. And really, that's a big part of this program is we know what the service trade can do. We know what it can be. And we believe we have an opportunity to help them get there. That's how we live and breathe at Heritage. And that's why this thing has morphed or metamorphed into something that we believe is going to be exceptional. And this is ground floor. We're going to release it. We're going to stub our toe, but we're going to ask you, we're going to ask the industry, how would you like to see it? We threw it out there the best that we knew how. How do you want to see it be different? How do you want to see it grow? What do you want it to look like a year from now? And we hope it looks totally different and 2 years from now. And it just continues to grow because this is not a part-time effort. We're in this not waist deep. We're neck deep into this in a very good way because we wanted to bring it to fruition.
Now, let me ask you, I've only had the chance to talk to you a couple of times, and we always see people that are passionate about wanting to make a change and wanting to make a difference. But in talking to you, John, and tell me if I'm wrong, you have a fire behind you to help the pool pros. And one of my questions was going to be, obviously, you've been in a situation where you've been able to have some mentors that have developed you, but that's at a management level. And by the way, I know a lot of people that tell me that you really gave them the foundation, right? That you're their mentor. So it looks like something that continues to trickle down. But when we talk about the pool pro, when we talk about these programs, and when we talk about helping the pool pros, there's people that are passionate, but for some reason, I get the energy that you just have, just a fire behind it for some reason. Is that the case, or what? Why?
I do have family that have been in it. I love distribution because we get to touch different pieces of it. We're going to stay in our lane. You're not going to see us open a retailer. You're not going to see us open a service company. This is what we do. We are distributors. And my biggest customer within that is the service trade. And when you have family members, a cousin, a brother, a nephew that have done it, and you lived the ups and downs of it with them, and they're able to articulate, when a vendor does this, my life improves dramatically. And when a distributor doesn't do this, my life is on hold. You get a sense right away of how you can impact them and how you can improve them. And when you help somebody improve their business, again, that's a gift. That is giving back. You're doing something for them and they recognize it and go, thank you. Everything changed. I didn't just make more money. My daughter went to school. My son got his first car, not because you did that, but because it was important and special to you. And we formed something that I'm now growing and I'm proud of. And you're all out there. You don't necessarily need our help, but if we can tailor that to be a benefit, it is a huge benefit.
No, it is, absolutely. And it's like looking at the long game approach. Too many times manufacturers, vendors, distributors, it's all about right now. What's my profit? Where's my ROI right this second? It's that long-term vision and knowing that is success that is built to last, because when you develop those relationships and you help that service provider, that service individual to become more profitable or to run a more successful business, what happens in turn? They purchase more because they have a more successful business. And it's a full circle. Everybody helps everybody out. And it's not about how much I can extract from you this moment per transaction, only this transaction, but this is ROI of life as a client. What can we get back, get and give each other over a course of decades, opposed to what I can get from you at the counter at this very second. And that's the way you build something to last.
And we've been talking about it for weeks now and building customer loyalty. And that's the difference right there, right? Just creating that long-term relationship and really building that loyalty rather than just, like John said, making it more of a transactional or right now type of scenario.
You nailed it, Zach, because, what was it, 2 podcasts ago we were talking about it, and I brought it up, and I challenged everyone, and I said, hey, look, don't look at what you're making per month per account, but now get a lifetime of that customer and what that customer costs you and how much that customer is worth to you over a lifetime, over a year, and then look at it that way. And you'll be surprised to see. It'll be an aha moment, and you'll have an epiphany. You'll start to interact with your customers and do certain transactions a little bit differently because you can see and appreciate the lifetime value by doing it that way. So, no, for sure.
We're reeling ourselves in, believe me, because we want to just go. All of this, me and Kim are on the phone Wednesday after the Instagram. You just want to get it out there because we're excited about it. But it is a long term. And we do know we're going to stub our toe. And we're talking to every vendor possible. This is not about exclusion at all. This is inclusion. But we have to release, we have to get it going, and then we're going to work with them to say, how can we help you? Because me throwing out the vendor catalog and saying we support this vendor, that doesn't help you. But me working with that vendor to say, what do you have that helps John tomorrow, that helps John in November, that helps John in 2024? That's what I want to work with them to figure out. We're a distributor. We're just that middle person to say, how do we make your life easier by having it in stock, by having dots on the map, by having great people on the phones, on the counter. That's what we do. But if I can work with a vendor to figure out what do you have that really helps them, because every one of them want this. This is like that Rubik's Cube that we can't figure out. How do we really, to your point, John, not how do we just jump in and get a few dollars in 23? How do we build something for them? It's not that they don't want to. It's not that we don't want to. It's difficult. You're herding cats, and we're trying to figure out how to do that. But if I can work and Kim can work, and then we can do it and make Matt really happy because we're actually getting it done. If we can do that, and I can sit down with that vendor and say, what do you think you have? And she goes, these are really specific to them. That's what we want. We're going to support you, Big Three. Of course we are. But how do we find that one thing that you guys use and it can really help you? And that's the needle in the haystack, and that's what we're committed to doing. So right now, I know there's a lot of vendors on my phone was going crazy Wednesday night. And it's like, when you see us release it and you might not be on that list, it's just because this is a foundation. We're going to start the walls. We're going to put the roof. Yeah. We're going to, in fact, we have roofing material. We're going to get that.
Right? We got landscaping.
That's right.
We got it all.
No pun intended.
We're going to do it all.
Underscore that it really matters to us to focus on what is best for the service pro, not just to bring products in, just to bring products in. And that's why we want to work diligently with the manufacturers and select those products that do make a difference in the pool service pro's life.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think we're getting close to the time of the reveal, right? But I have one more. I have one more thing that I want to do. I need to give a couple shout outs out here before we go, and then Kim, we will do the reveal here. So I do want to give a shout out to some of the people that are listening, and I do want to start with 2 special shout outs out here, and I'm looking them up because I did have some of your team members reach out to me yesterday. That was cool. And so Matthew Jensen, and I think he's out in Florida, so big shout out to you. And then, what's his last name?
I'm not going to butcher it either. You try it, and then...
Hey, John, can you read that last name, Frank?
Reggiani.
Reggiani. There you go, Reggiani. So, Frank...
He's amazing.
Yeah, big shout out to you out there, guys. Thanks so much for reaching out and connecting. That's what we really enjoy, guys. And if you guys ever have questions, you guys ever want to talk, you can reach us through all the channels, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever it is. And I do want to give a huge shout out here to Jeanette, Benny, Maria, Robert. Big shout outs. I want to give a shout out here to Jason out in Wisconsin. Big shout out. Reyes Conde, big shout out to you out there. And then let's see here. Shout out to PEP in Santa Ana.
That's where Frank's from.
That's nice. Yeah. They're on here. So anyways, everybody listening out there, go on to the chat, shoot us where you're at, what store you guys are at from Heritage, and we'll give you a shout out here today. So, all right, people, without further ado, I'm going to turn it.
Break?
Should we take a word from our sponsors? And then, right. So, Janie, I'm getting chewed out over here by Janie. Janie, big, huge shout out. Here's the problem, Janie, is you're always with us, and today you decided to ditch us, so we stayed at home. So
it says, really, bruh?
Yeah, bruh. Yeah, it says, really, bruh? So anyways, Kim, we're going to turn it over to you. Okay. I'm just going to go here. Aquagon, Naperville, Illinois.
Oh, yes. Yeah. They're on?
All right. Yeah, they're on here. Shout out to you guys.
Shout out to our Heritage family members. Absolutely. That's great.
Really,
thank you for joining. Well, you guys are really set us up pretty well. All this talk about customer loyalty, and that's certainly what this program's about. It's a loyalty program, and it's called PoolTech. And its mission is to empower, educate, and elevate pool service professionals. And we really spent a lot of time thinking about what pool professionals need and the types of businesses they have and their unique requirements. And we came up with this program with some core elements to it. The first one, which is really there to empower the pool pros and their businesses by helping them be more profitable. And it's our loyalty rewards. And pool pros that sign up to be members will be able to earn a percentage back against purchases in 2 categories. The first one is a base rewards, where they'll earn a percent against all purchases they make from Heritage. So any products that we sell, they'll earn this percentage back. And then the second category is a PoolTech product rewards, which will be in addition to the base. So if they buy one of the products that we have designated PoolTech, they will earn an additional percentage on top of the base. And this loyalty rewards is really important. It's not a rebate program. It's not something they have to wait till the end of the year or hit a growth marker or have a minimum. They actually are rewarded by doing business with us. And so they earn against their purchases immediately. It accrues monthly, and then we will issue it for use on a quarterly basis, and then they'll have the opportunity to choose when they want to use it and what invoices to use it against. So it's their reward on account. It's a credit on their account, and we're really hoping this does help them become more profitable as they continue to do business with us.
I was waiting to see here.
Do you want me to go through all the elements, or do you want to stop and talk about each one first?
Let's talk about each one of them and dive into detail into one of them. And we're going to do an overview, but I think we should do a little bit of a deep dive, John, because this is huge. And Zach, I know you're probably jumping over on the other one, but we talk about it all the time. So, by the way, everybody listening, there's a lot more depth to this program that we're going to talk about, but let's talk about this first one. We do a financial business class. We're always talking about our spiritual mission is to allow pool pros to be financially successful. And if they are, everything else falls into place, right? And John, we talk about it all the time. Profit, and how are we going to get more of that profit? And there's only 2 ways to do that, right? You cut expenses or you charge more money. There's just no other way to increase your profitability. But here's a program, and here's the beauty of it. You are going to earn back on every single purchase. It doesn't matter if it's a bucket of tabs. It doesn't matter if it's a heater. It doesn't matter if it's a pole. Whatever it is that you're going to get automatically, that money, that whatever the percentage is, credited back to your account. So you buy one of the
PoolTech
items, and you're going to get more. So that's going to be even more to that. This is just an absolute no-brainer.
Are you supposed to break it down, or is Kim going to be breaking it down?
I got a little excited about it, John. But think about it, because we talk about it all the time. We talk about profit. We talk about making more money. There is nothing that exists in our industry with regards to a program like this, and it was way overdue.
Absolutely. And I like to look at it a little bit deeper. It's all great as far as we having a beautiful program. We're going to be able to get some money back, but I look at it a little differently, and how just a program like this, how it changes, not only allowing a pool professional, right, to maybe be a little bit more profitable, be able to put a little bit more money in their pockets at the end of the year, but I think how it's going to help the industry. And this is why we've always incentivized whatever spiffs or whatever programs to sell a specific item based off of what the manufacturer wants. So whether it's heaters right now, you sell 5 heaters, you're going to get this. You sell so many of these cleaners, you're going to do that. You sell this pump, you're going to get this. And unfortunately, and this is the truth, it changes the way we treat our customers. And we might not be offering the best solution at the moment because we're in a position where we're at razor thin profits. We have the pandemic. We've had our prices have seen increases. They've skyrocketed over and over. And then now I'm going back to a pad, and maybe now I'm going to sell this pump because I'm going to make a little extra money. Even though if I go with this manufacturer, it'll be better for the client, or it'll whatever it may be. And we can all pretend like that doesn't happen, but the truth is it does. Look, and I'm going to say it, but that's exactly what it is. If it's whoever can give whatever bonus, and then they're going to base their selling or what they're going to install off of that, even though it might not be the right product for that customer and the right solution. Not that it wouldn't work, but it could work better if you offered something else. So giving the pool pros the flexibility to where regardless of what they're purchasing, they're able to still be incentivized, and they're going to be appreciated, and they're going to get some of that money back, I think is going to help change a lot of that, and it's going to help us in the long run. It might not be something we see immediately, right? But like we were talking about before we got on the podcast, this is the type of stuff that we start to see. We pave the way, and we don't see the end result yet because it's so far out there. But 5-10 years from now, this is where it makes a bigger difference. And then to go even further, and look, and this is me just being me, and again, what we talked about, when we start creating those situations or an environment where a customer is happy with their pool, because now we got them the right product, we fed them the right install, they're going to be that much happier with their pool instead of hating their pool because it's a pit or it didn't work the way it wanted them to work, or now I got to go out there and turn my pump on manually, even though I have automation or something like that because of this or whatever, and this isn't communicating to that, or we create a better experience for them, then they're going to enjoy and appreciate their pool more. They're going to talk good about their pool. Their kids, their family members that are going to be there, going to share those experiences. So when they have children, they're going to want pools, and then it just helps us. And it's hard to really put a dollar amount on it. These are the types of things, and I know a lot of people out there listening, and maybe are going, dude, John, you're going way too far with this. You're way too deep.
Well, I think these intangibles you're talking about really, when we talk about the other elements of the program, people will really see how that impacts the intangibles.
It does.
Yeah. One thing I want to bring up, John, is when I said inclusion and not exclusion, that's what we mean. When you're talking about those PoolTech products, that catalog will grow. And for the reasons that we said and the reasons that you're pointing out right there, we're going to figure out those things that are specific to the trade, and we're going to do it. And one caveat that I'll bring up is the vendors have some amazing programs. They really do. You're a builder, pretty easy to take care of it, right? Run a report at the end of the year and I bought this. You're a retailer with brick and mortar, pretty easy to take care of it. You're a service guy, and it's very difficult. Can I hit those gates to get anything back? If I do, does anybody know anything about it? Or did you tell me, oh, I only missed it by 2 heaters? I wish I would have known that in November. So that's what we're taking into consideration. When we say we're listening, we are listening. We're not going to be perfect, but we're listening, and we're trying to figure that out. So you're right. You're going to get that base every time. That catalog is going to grow, where when you're outside of that base, hey, I buy a lot of those products. Oh, my goodness, my percentage just doubled annually. I don't have to ask anybody for it. I didn't miss it because I didn't know about it. It's right there, and every quarterly, I walk in the door, and my heritage guy tells me, hey, you got $170 sitting here. Do you want to spend it? No, I'm going to wait till it's 1,000. I'm going to start doing this. You know what? My motivation is to start buying on that list, and that's when we are going to start really working with the vendors to say, how do I get you into that catalog? How do I get you on that list? Because people are recognizing it, and to your point, they're going to see that traction, and they're going to go, I can buy what I need when I need it because I'm getting rebated all the time, every time.
And I think it's really important to add to what Albert said about that list, that catalog. It's not about what the vendors can do for us, Heritage. It's really about how it benefits the trade, right? The service pro. And that's how that catalog is going to grow.
I love it. And I think one of the biggest challenges I've faced is exactly what John was talking about. You get out to a pad and you're like, okay, I have this program and man, I could really push this, but I'm having to do a lot of extra work to make all this fit and integrate and all this. And that's going to be an extra cost to the customer, or this is going to better serve them. Which way do I go? And we always go with what's best for the customer. So a lot of times we're probably missing out on a lot of opportunities that we could have taken advantage of. And the other piece that I love is, like you said, like, I wonder how many pool pros out there have been unable to take advantage of programs just because they're not in a position to meet the minimum requirements to get into their, and maybe they don't offer equipment installation or something along those lines. So this is really cool. I love how you coined it inclusive. It's inclusive of everyone can take advantage of this.
And that's the biggest thing in that. But I was going to say, make that point, obviously, and I'm over here, Robert's talking, and I'm pointing at him because I'm like, that's exactly it. Is that for a long time, a lot of the smaller pool pros have been left out. You start in the industry and you start at a little bit of a disadvantage because the people that have been in the industry, and like you were saying, the builders and those with the other programs get rewarded based on volume. But you're kind of putting the playing field the same for everybody, and it's absolutely inclusive. And here's something that you said that was even bigger to me, and that is that if you do have $170 and you go to buy something, you can say, hey, do you want to use it right now? And you can use that money. So can you guys talk a little bit about that? Because that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. So And with every purchase, again, you're going to accrue the reward credits on account. And then when you go in and pay for your items, your counter person will let you know, oh, by the way, I see that you have $150 or $500, whatever it is. You want to use this on this purchase. And then it's as simple as that, as simple as Robert described. And then you can tell them yes or no, and then they will ring you up accordingly. And or if you use Bill Trust, if you're an account of ours now and you purchase online and pay online, you'll be able to see those reward credits on your account and then choose to apply them to a bill. And you just select the invoice and select the reward credit.
No administrative nightmare, immediate gratification. One thing that I do want to point out is the vendors, they want this. As I said earlier, it's a Rubik's Cube with you guys. It's difficult. But they have great programs, and they want to figure out how to get them to you. And that's all. We're trying to create this vessel that we just go to them and say, we know how to get to them. What would you like us to do? How can we help you, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, get to Mr. and Mrs. Pool Guy and Pool Girl? That's really what we're trying to do here. And we really feel, in my life in distribution, I've sat with so many vendors are going, look, I have this program, and they don't take advantage of it. And I'm having that same conversation with them. I promise you they want to. They just don't know how. It's difficult. They've got 1,000 things on their plate for them to sit there and count this up or keep count of this or work with you as the local sales rep. It's just difficult for them. They catch you at a tabletop, but it's not the right time. They don't know. And if we can put that together and we can say, vendor here, service person here, all you have to do is come in and collect your money. It's a home run.
It's really impossible for them to accomplish this without you, without distribution, because how can you expect a manufacturer to promote other products? It just doesn't work. It's not going to happen. Working through you as the conduit through distribution, without distribution, these types of programs would not be able to really happen. It is very. So it's just, like I said, I'm super stoked.
I want to back up. So did you say that if you log into your account online, you have that visibility and the ability to manage it through your online portal?
Correct. So you'll be able to see the reward credits that you've accrued.
Pick the dollar amount you want, apply it to the invoice that you have, and you're done.
That's awesome.
And by the way, thank you to the team back home for making this happen. It was no small feat.
I want to ask for your permission to share the story of how that came up, because I was there that day.
Oh, yes.
Can I share that?
Of course.
So I'm going to go back a little bit. And again, a tiny little fish in the pond, right, John? So I get invited to go over to meet with Dave and Andrew and Kim, and I met them for the first time. And so here I am, and they're asking for some feedback, and they're having a conversation, and Dave walks into the room, and Dave's biggest thing was, how do we do something, but how do we do something for everybody? And our conversation is we start the conversation, well, not we, because I was just sitting there listening, but they start having the conversation of, let's do some type of program. But then we start to have the conversation about what is interesting for one group might not be interesting for the other group because of the way that they were talking about the program and stuff like that. So anyway, so we're sitting in there and they're just throwing ideas. I'm just soaking it all in. I'm just sitting there over there, just quiet. And I'm sitting there, yeah, but there's other things out there like that. I'm like, I'm not super excited about it. And all of a sudden, Kim sits over there and Kim goes, can we do something like Sephora? I'm like, sit there and I turn around and I look and I'm like, Sephora? And she goes, can we do it that literally you accrue those points and when you go to check out, you could use it right then and there? And at that moment, I just lost my marbles. And I had to control myself not to start jumping so that they would kick me out, because I'm like, that's a game changer. That right there. And I put myself, John, in a position when I started and I was struggling. How awesome would it be for you to go that you're going to install a pump or replace a motor or whatever it is? You're running tight on funds, because when you're starting, hey, it's not all profits and all that. But think about it. You could be in a situation where you're tight for cash, but all of a sudden you have this $200 credit, and all of a sudden you go, now I have the cash flow. Now I have the money to be able to install that, get that done now, be able to build it, right? And be able to have access to that.
Getting excited.
Right?
I love it.
So I'm not talking about the big guy, because the big guy will always be the big guy, and the big guy will always make the big money. But what about these guys that are over here that have always been left behind?
Well, no, for sure. And look, and what we talk about is, and this is the problem, that we have in the industry is we forget that the little guy becomes the big guy. If we don't create that relationship with them and we don't help them throughout their journey, right? They're just either going to fall through the wayside and it's going to be another business going downhill, or it's going to be another company that disappoints customers and it's going to put a bad name in the eyes and mouth or in the heads of clients, right? And think, oh, pool professionals are all crap or whatever. You can't trust them because this guy screwed me over or whatever it may be. We need to be able to foster those relationships. And the better we start to understand that is those companies that have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 accounts and the builders that are building God knows how many pools and $250,000 up pools and backyards, they started somewhere. It just didn't happen. And who's smart enough to realize and find that, hey, look, I find this diamond in the rough here, and these are the people that I need to help. These are the ones that we need to lift up because they're the future of the industry. And the guys and girls out there that are already well established and doing their thing, they got plenty of incentives and they got all the goods already, right?
They're going on
They've
trips.
earned
They're
it.
doing all that stuff.
And we're not taking anything away from them because God bless them. They deserve it. And that's what we're aspiring to become. That's what we want to do.
And they can participate too.
And they participate as well, right? Yeah. But see, I think we forget that. And again, it falls back to what we spoke about earlier. It's just like, it's so many times we step over $1 to pick up a penny, right? Because we're thinking, you know what I'm saying? I got to take care of this person because this person has X amount of pools and this is and all my attention needs to go to these people.
But John,
right?
How many times have we not talked since day one on the podcast? How many times have we not talked? And we've talked to the big three. We've talked to everybody. Always comes and asks and says, how can we do more? How can we reach more? They all ask. And our response has always been the same thing. You're not focusing on the little guy. You're not focusing on the guy that is just beginning. Give them the support that they need, and they in turn are going to turn into those guys that John is saying, those guys and girls. They'll be a builder at some point.
They'll have 1,000 pools one day.
And you'll have loyalty. People are loyal that way.
And every single person that we've talked to have asked, we've given them the same answer, but yet you guys are the first one to sit there and go, here's where we need to focus.
Well, I told you guys Wednesday night that she is the architect of this, and I'll point out again, as a service guy, service girl, what do I need to do? Nothing. Show up, make your regular purchases, get it done. And she automated the application. It almost couldn't be easier. Name, rank, serial number, you're in. So she got that I have to make this as easy as possible. It has to be immediate gratification, and it cannot be a card. It cannot be need a report. It cannot be call my local vendor to tell them that I bought this. It does, you get rewarded. And to your point, John, if we look back a year from now and the vendor goes, man, that girl bought 5 pumps that they never bought. I'm not saying it's just because this is easy. I'm saying, to your point, it is going to make it easier when they're out there selling the thing that they need, not the thing that might be on sale that day at X. All the time, anytime, every time.
All I can think about is hopefully my dad's not watching because he'll be like, man, I wish I had something like this 12 years ago. And Zach would have stopped hitting me up for cash here and there.
I want to give Dave his due because the Sephora idea came up, and to his credit, he listened and he said, okay, let's do that.
It was awesome. So by the way, right when you said that, I was like flipping out over in the chair. And then it was awesome just to sit there and they're just sitting there and they're like, yep, let's do this, let's do that, let's make it happen. Yep, great idea, let's go, boom, boom, boom. And we leave and they're like, we're done, we got this.
Then Dave walked in the office and went, what the hell, Sephora?
Yeah, right. But I do have to say, and I am going to put some little bragging rights, and I'm going to be able to say, hey, I was in the room when that was kind of going over there. I had nothing to do with it, but I was...
Well, you were very helpful. We invited you there to get your feedback and bounce our ideas off you.
You know that saying that when you say you want to be a fly in the wall, when that moment happened, I was a fly in the wall in that moment. I was able to just kind of listen to and just get excited. And then I had to be quiet for the next 3 months. So anyways, before we continue, I want to come out here and give a couple shout outs because you guys have some more of your team jumping on here. So great things to come. Ward, Connolly, shout out to PEP Duarte. Is it tech or tech? Is it TEC or TECH?
TECH. PoolTech, one word.
There you go. PoolTech. The other thing, massive moves for the pool industry and the pool professional. And then the next one is they're jumping. They're excited. When does the program start? Do you have to sign up? or are you automatically enrolled?
So the program launches March 23rd, and we're going to have a big launch at the Western Pool Show. We'll all be there, so if you're planning on coming to the show, stop by our booth and see us. We'll have a lot of activity around PoolTech. And yes, everyone does have to sign up. You do have to just fill out a membership application. We ask basic questions and a few questions just about your service business to give us more information to make the program better. So I do want to qualify that, though. We're launching it the 23rd, but we're launching it in the West region to start. This does allow us to make sure everything is worked out and everything works smoothly. And then we will rapidly roll it out to the rest of the country. And it will be everywhere no later than June 1st.
Then June 1st. Yes. And then so you get the first crack at it.
The first crack at it, yep. We'll be spinning the wheel at a booth at the Western, giving away swag. But if you sign up at that time, we're actually going to give away some filters. We're going to give away some cash, and we're hoping to give away a Raypack heater on the final day. So we're going to try to do some really exciting stuff for everybody attending. That's obviously the greatest show in the West and a heavy, heavy service trade show. So very excited.
Yeah, and you can apply before the program hits your market. So, and we'll go through the details of where you go to apply, but you can apply, and we will activate you as soon as the program is turned on in your area.
That's huge, right? So anybody can sign up now, even if it's not in the region.
Correct.
And then when it rolls out June 1st, they don't have to do anything. It just turns on.
We'll send you an email, let you know you're on. You can start earning loyalty rewards.
Okay, great. That is awesome. Yeah, go ahead, Zach.
I was just going to say, I got to give a big shout out to my wife, Leslie, because I just checked in on the cameras. Like the creep that I am at the shop. She's listening to us right now. So.
Oh, Leslie, you haven't sent us a message over here. Let's make fun of Zach over here. Give us something funny on him on the chat so we can make fun of him like we normally do. Which, by the way, he wasn't on the podcast last week, so we owe him. We have this thing that if you miss a podcast, you pay the price. So that's coming up. Just be ready because we're working on it. And Leslie, I will apologize now because we will embarrass him. So. Hey guys, let's do this. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors. When we come back, we'll get into the next 3 parts of the program because there's still more to come.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. As we continue our conversation with Kim and Robert with Heritage, we're talking about the new program that they're rolling out. And Zach sent me a message. He had a question that he wanted to jump in and ask. So, Zach, I'm going to let you ask.
Yeah, so I wanted to hear more about the PoolTech designated products.
Oh, yes. So we've worked with our manufacturers and surveyed certainly some key members of our service customers and have selected products that really target pool service pros' needs. So they address safety or efficiency, quality, but targeted towards the replacement, repair, and remodel projects out there. So those are the products that we are considering and looking at and wanting to bring more into the catalog of PoolTech. When we launch on the 23rd, just know we're going to continue to add to the catalog. I just want to emphasize that we had to start somewhere. We want to start this and get the benefits out to the members, and we will work diligently to continue to grow that catalog. So ultimately, the pool professional has something that they use in the PoolTech line,
So if Robert, I know you touched on this, and you were talking about this as well, Kim. You want to grow this. So if a vendor out here is listening and they want to become a part of this program, who do they need to contact in order to get information to get this started?
All of our vendors that do business with us now have their relationships with our supply chain, our sourcing team. But certainly they can reach out to me. They can reach out to Ernesto Salas, Dave, if they know them. But yeah, we will. If they reach out to their regional sourcing agent, they'll funnel them over to us. Yeah.
Big, huge shout out here to Jay Brakefield out here watching. Jay is saying that his pool's John were trash after the 80-mile-an-hour winds last night. So,
I feel for you.
I think John brought that stuff over here.
He did.
Right?
He did.
We just had 100-mile-an-hour winds over in the valley. We got snow, so I don't know what the hell's going on. But every pool was absolutely destroyed. And one of my techs, Fabian, shout out to him, bless his soul. It was baptism by fire, right? You know what I mean? Boy, he had quite the. He's been with us now for a little over 6 months. But
during the good times, right?
Well, good I mean, usually our pools, we're blessed and we have the ability we have some clients that we've had for many, many years in the backyards we pick and we have are pretty cherry, right? We have some really nice accounts. And our goal is to make the pool just look like we left it when we walk back there. Or you almost have to, you feel guilty, you have to put on a show and start dancing and doing things back there. But the goal is that we want it to look beautiful. But there was not one pool. We have a pool on our route that we have not had to drop a vac in for 6 years because we have automatic cleaners in every one of our accounts, right? But we've not had to drop a vac in over 6 years from the very beginning, never once. And we had about a quarter inch of mud on the bottom of it. And so poor Fabian, if you're listening out there, brother, shout out to you. You did a great job. You made it through without quitting. Much appreciated.
So let's talk about the next element of the program.
Yes.
I think this one is
really
huge.
Important element, and it's education. And I've been talking about helping the pool pros out there improve themselves, be more successful, but education is a really key factor here. So Heritage is going to be putting together an online library of courses related to business, finance, sales, products, safety, and all of these courses will be available to the member. They'll have to log in, so you do need to be a member to log into the library, and it'll be categorized and easy to go through and to identify what you need or what your team needs to review and take. And then we're also going to be working with the manufacturers to pull together on-site training in the local markets. So anything hands-on that is better held with hands-on training, we're going to roll out and announce and put schedules out there for on-site training across the country.
Yeah, I was going to say it sounds like a broken record, but inclusion for those that are in Southern California. Pentair has one of the most amazing classes. They held it in at Pachango Resort here a couple of weeks ago. I think it was over 400, might have been close to 500. Probably could add 600 if they fit them all. It's amazing. We want to work with that. Again, maybe you start achieving points and dollars, and you get to apply it to that class instead of coming out of pocket for $200. You go, hey, Pentair, give us a code, and we're going to let everybody come in and use their points to go to that class. And maybe it's Hayward. Again, we are going to incorporate all that in there. We want you to go get educated. We want whatever's available out there for you to be able to take advantage of it. And if it costs money, look what we just did. We put something in your little kitty there that you could apply it to.
Well, look, there goes again, right? The same thing, looking long term here. Now, investing in people's education, understanding that more educated technicians and companies out there is going to be better for everybody in the industry, and helping promote that and giving them the opportunity to better themselves. And yes, Pentair has an amazing workshop. We've been to them. We love going to them. We couldn't go to it this year because we had that windstorm, that 100-mile-an-hour windstorm. And even some guys, a buddy of mine who's out in the valley too, same thing too, he had to leave a day early because all the pools were thrashed and he had to get a head start on it. But I would imagine that the education that you guys are going to have on there, it's not going to be exactly specific to one exact thing. It's going to be more broad, right? They're going to increase their education as a whole so they understand what they're doing as a technician, not necessarily being extremely proficient in working on Pentair units or being very proficient working on Jandy units or Hayward or whatever. Maybe that might be included, but it's also going to be more of a broad understanding in education and incentivizing people to be better at what they do and have more knowledge. And in turn, what ends up happening, they become more confident. They're able to answer questions. Now they're able to solve problems and create solutions for clients because now they know more and they can go back there and identify an issue that they couldn't see before. And that's what we're trying to do with Pool Nation is it's educating our technicians, because as an industry, if we become educated as a whole, everybody benefits from it. There's so many technicians that are out there that are missing out on opportunities, not just to line their pockets and make more money. Sure, that's part of it so they can be more successful, but they're missing giving our clients the opportunity to enjoy their backyard better or more and understand it, be safer, right? Do things like that, which is so important. And that's our mission, and that's what we're trying to do. And seeing what you guys are doing the exact same thing. Like I said before, this is why we're so damn excited, because this is it. And again, it's not that we're not going to see an immediate thing a month or 2 months from down the road, but I guarantee you 6, a year, 18 months, 2 years down that road, we're going to all look back at this, and this is going to be the catalyst, I'm telling you, that is going to change things. And more programs are going to be coming out, right? Other people are going to be looking into it and become more involved into it. More focus is going to be on the service technician and the one poler, the two polers. Those things are going to change, and it all starts here. And mark my words, we will come back, talk about it 2 years from now, and we're going to see a huge difference for sure.
And our educational process is not instead of, it's also. We're not trying to do something instead of go over here or instead of go to the workshop. We want it to be included with. And we hope that through our website and through our landing page, our dashboard, that you're going to go there and go, I need help with XYZ. I can always go there and find that help with vendor support.
Yeah, we really are trying to provide kind of one location that the pool service pro can go to log in and then see everything that's going to be on site in their area, and then also have a well-curated online resource that is laid out. So maybe they need a particular line of training for a beginner, like maybe one of their employees that are starting or more advanced, but really have that lined out so they don't have to spend so much time researching it themselves. We will pull it all together and utilize our resources as a company, as a distributor, because we do work with all of the manufacturers and the industry. So hopefully, yeah, big and small service pros can take advantage of the online courses any hour of the day, because I know a lot of them struggle to take time off to go take courses as well. But then again, in one place where they can go see what's happening on site.
I want to jump in real quick, Edgar. Sorry, but you said employees, and that's something that really hits home for me. And we're, like John said, we're huge into the education, and all the business owners out there, the more educated they are, the more successful the companies they can grow, then they'll start hiring employees. And having these more centralized educational things, it allows us and makes it easier as people, business owners that do have employees, to train them and bring them up. And I would love to see the day where there is a ton of pool technicians out there in the job market that their experience, their knowledge, and maybe they want to look for a better opportunity or a different opportunity, and they can go to different companies with that experience level. Because just as hard as it is for us as business owners to find these different sources of education and put it all together, it's even harder to be a business owner trying to find those sources of education and put it together and then train our employees with that information. So I think this is absolutely awesome. And I find myself more and more, the conversation I have with reps, vendors, whoever, it's always on education anymore.
I'm going to flash back to my plant manager days. We implemented a journeyman program, and that was really to outline what courses and what training you need to get more experience and higher pay and higher positions on the production floor. And we have the knowledge here for the pool service pros. So I feel like if we come together, we can outline these steps so you can have a program for the trade that takes people down a path and that makes sense, and they can track it and see their performance and maybe ultimately get a certificate, right? So they can show and they can go to another company going, oh, so I'm certified level 1 or certified level 2, and that means something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, John, in talking to this program, Zach, we go back to the same thing. It's not just about the financial, right? Because it's very easy as a company to come out and go, I'm going to give you a pocket incentive and that's it. And everybody does that, right? Yeah. But there's a lot of thought process put behind this program. And we talk about the education, and we do see a lot of education from the manufacturers and stuff like that. And again, we've had the conversations with them that it's great to give that training on just that equipment and that thing, but you have to arm them with other tools, right? The financial training, the management training, all these other pieces to make them financially successful. And again, the fact that you guys took the time to sit down and said, we're going to break this into 4 different areas, and here's a second one, and education is huge. Again, you allow those pool pros from the beginning to be successful. They are going to be the future of the industry. And again, you guys know the investment that you're making in those people as well.
Yeah, and it'll only get better as we get feedback from the members out there. Because I had one conversation with a great service company, and the owner's ask was like, gosh, could you provide training on selling so I can teach my technicians how to sell products while they're in the customer's backyard? Because they're there. Owners typically naturally know how to do that when they're on site. And we took that. I'm like, we'll definitely add a sales element to it. So you can have your employees get trained on how and what to recognize and identify and how to sell the customer.
Yeah, see, that's huge.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the next one, because there's more people.
Yeah, there's 2 more. So the next feature is actually called the PoolTech Quality Council. We really felt it was important to bring together all parts of the industry. We want to invite key members of PoolTech to join us, Heritage, and the PoolTech manufacturers, and some key industry experts like on safety, and come together to discuss the unique needs of the service pro. And the goal is really to improve product quality, to improve processes, how we serve you, how you order products, how it's delivered, et cetera, but just everything that relates to doing business as a professional service organization. And it will happen once a year. We, of course, need to get members on board so we can invite them. But what we told our manufacturers, what's really important is that please don't just send a salesperson. Right. Please we want someone in management, but we really want someone from your engineering team, because engineers listen very differently than a salesperson or a senior manager, and they hear it differently. And we want them to actually take that knowledge of someone that works with their product day in and day out, and then go back and then tinker it and hopefully make it better.
Look at John. He's just like, that's how it was yesterday when I was listening to it. I'm like,
again, we're talking about empowering the professional, the line level, the people that are out there busting their butts, scrubbing tubs, doing what they're doing, grinding, making things happen, and giving them a voice. Because too often people feel like, what the mentality is, well, nobody listens. And who do I talk to? And then you say what you say, and the only interaction that they do have is with that sales rep, if they even talk to the sales rep, or if that sales rep has even reached out to them. And that's a whole nother story we're not even going to get into right now. Because
and if as a sales rep, sometimes they're not listened to when they go back to their organization.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. But at the same time, it's just like but then having this platform for them to where they can at least be heard and they can get that information and hopefully inspire some change, like moving drain plugs on filters.
Did I not say that?
Yeah, you totally can.
Kim and I were in Studio A yesterday.
And
I'm like,
I don't know, but maybe.
But it becomes a compelling case, though, when you have a group of professionals that do this day in and day out and have teams of people that do this day out, to have a conversation with that product's engineer. I don't know if you've had conversations with engineers. They do listen very differently. When you ask them a question, like, oh, wait a minute. And they start.
Didn't think of that.
Yeah, and they start thinking through it, and you see their brain just start turning away. But that is so important, again, to really lean in on the strengths of the Service Pro, because again, you are the experts of the product, right? And feeding that back.
We want to hold ourselves accountable. We have a tagline for PoolTech. We want it to be for the pro, by the pro. Well, we can't do that until we bring pros on board, but we want to hold ourselves accountable so that you say, this is for the pro, and that it is by the pro. If I give a comment, Robert listens, Kim listens. Yes, it was great in concept, and we get our credit, but it's a little cumbersome. I wish you would do this, and we want to do that. So we're going to add that tagline one day, for the pro, by the pro, once we get there, because we want to hold ourselves accountable so that every pro goes, man, I joined that thing, and it is for me, by me, and we're going to get there.
And I'm going to go back. I'm going to keep doing my recap, John. You talk about the money part of it. It's there, right? You're incentivized. You got the education. And yesterday, so we hadn't gone through all the details, and we were in Studio A, and then Kim was talking about it, and she's like, and we're going to have the engineers there. And Kim and I was like, oh my God, like, how come nobody else has done this? How come nobody else has taken the time to get everybody in the room? And that's, John, where we feel sometimes left out, where we're not brought into the room to say, hey, here's this product, here's how you can make it better. A lot of times it feels like they're going to do what they want to do because they want to do it and because it's convenient for them. And we've seen it firsthand that there is an ability out there to get engineers involved in development of products and completely change a way a product is done and even bring a lot more safety to the products that are already out there. But
I'm sure some manufacturers do this.
I
think what we're trying to do is really bring some formality to it and process to it so we know this is happening.
Bringing everybody to the room.
Yeah.
And that's what we talk about all the time is how do we all come into the same room because we all belong in the same room. And that's what you guys are doing. You guys are bringing everybody into the room to have the conversation. And you guys do have a little bit more leverage with those manufacturers to say, send those people over. Let's talk about it. Let's change the game.
And it's not everything that anybody's going to complain about. It's going to automatically make you change. Let's be realistic
I want to put that caveat out there.
Let's be realistic here. But it's at least it gives a venue to where people can actually voice their opinions to the people that make those decisions, and they're heard. And again, it's not easy to make those big changes. I get it, but I think if they hear it enough, the problem is sometimes it just doesn't filter. It's like the game of telephone. You got one message, and by the time they want to take it to their boss, I got to be very careful when I'm going to bring home and say, should I even bring this up and talk to him about this? You know what I mean? Yeah. He doesn't want to hear about this. He wants to hear about what I. So okay, well he yelled about it enough to me, so I'm going to say something, and maybe in passing, and then they're going to think about it and go, well, I got to bring, it's not, what does this have to do with me? I need to talk to this person. Do I really, my schedule's completely booked. So by the time it gets down to, if it ever gets up to whoever it needs to get up to, the message is watered down, or it's not there, or maybe they only heard that concern once, even though there was 1,000 people down there yelling about it. But by the time it got up there, it was just from one person.
I will share with you, I've participated in these type of councils before, and what happens is when you have a group of these professionals together, and one person brings up a topic on a particular product, then a conversation happens, and then you get to hear from everyone in that group, and immediately you can identify if that's a major problem or if it's a minor one that's just happening. If everyone else follows up with like, yeah, it happens occasionally, but not a big deal. But it really helps the company, the manufacturer, and the engineer gauge where should that fall on my priority list and when I should be working on that, or should we be putting resources behind that? But that's the value of bringing the group together and having the conversation.
And then I'm going to take it a step further. And what it does as well is it helps us determine whether or not it's something that needs to be changed physically on a product or a feature, or is it a lack of education? Because they think they know, or they're just not aware that it actually does do that, or you can do that, or that isn't a problem, and this is how you should go about doing it.
We need to add something to the library.
Exactly. So then now it's like, oh, okay, so now obviously the education isn't going out there, and the manufacturers can take it back and go, okay, we're not getting the word out that you can do this or this with that, with this also, or this pump or whatever, and it's not clear enough for them. So let's move that out, because if we're hearing it there from 4 or 5 people, then we know you can multiply that by, there's probably thousands out there that are not using it correctly, simply not because the product is inferior. It's just simply because they've done a poor job of relaying those features or educating them on how to use it.
All right, our friend Matthew out here. This is awesome, Edgar. Why couldn't they have a program like this 3 years ago when I was in the industry? LOL. Awesome, man. I have the whole branch here in San Dimas, by the way, turned into the podcast, listening to the news, to the local pool chapters. Thank you guys for all you do for the industry. Big shout out to you, Matthew, and to your entire team out there. And then Robert, that's one of your peeps.
Yeah,
you got to give him a
big shout out.
Big shout out there, right?
He is our educator. He actually travels to branches during the downtime, helps them. He's from the industry before coming to distribution, does a fantastic job for us. Big shout out.
That is absolutely awesome. All right, so let's move on.
Next bit.
All right.
Yeah. Next one, right?
All right.
Zach, how are you feeling over there?
I'm good. I actually have been taking notes and writing this all down. And I'm trying not to make pencil scratch noises and get yelled at by Edgar for making too much noise.
Why do I always take the heat for the noise?
Because you're complaining all the time. To be honest, we get the luxury of doing what we're doing, and Edgar's the one that has to worry about all the editing and the audio and the video, and we have nothing to do with that. So we're sitting here making your life a little bit harder. Edgar, I want to apologize. Okay.
I appreciate that.
I want to apologize.
Sometimes I just need to be heard. That's all.
Here we are. I'm apologizing in front of everybody.
Okay. So HR, I'm going to withdraw my complaint for HR. So they were going to meet with us at the end of the podcast, and they're out in the hall. So you guys can leave.
Now?
We're good. So anyways, big shout out there. Look at that. I have Todd messaging me over here going crazy. Let's see what he's got.
Perfect. So
Robert's starting. Listen to this. Robert's starting to feel himself giving out shout outs.
No. Here we go.
That's your boy Todd.
Yeah, of course.
Big shout out, Todd. Sorry, Zach.
No, I'm ready to hear about the last bit. The program will it have some events coming up?
Yes. So the fourth element is events and promotions. And events and promotions, like the Quality Council, we really feel helps elevate the trade and the pool professionals. Events really seek to, again, just put a spotlight on pool pros out there with fun events, whether they're gatherings or contests or dinners or whatever we end up doing. But that is definitely something very important to us. And then promotions. So on top of the rewards that they're earning, we are going to be running seasonal promotions that will save them on particular products on a monthly basis. So they have that to look forward to. And we will at times have kind of event promotion combo. And I'll share with everyone. We'll share with everyone. One of our manufacturing partners that's in PoolTech, BWT, has a Formula One driver. So we will be running a pretty exciting summer event promotion where a service pro will have the opportunity to win 2 tickets to the Las Vegas Grand Prix in November.
You and I are going to be there for the show. We might as well just stay. We'll get the tickets.
Right?
This is pretty great. They're shutting down the strip for this Formula One race, and it's going to be pretty spectacular.
That track is sweet. They were still building it when we were there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's literally going to be this year right after the show.
Yeah,
right.
It's literally one of those guys where we get into the show and then we're out because it's crazy.
Go from awards banquet right to Indy race.
Yes.
Indy race. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that. But again, we'll have other events throughout the year, regional events so people can participate in them. And of course, the big event promotion and then just seasonal promotions throughout the year. So our members can take advantage of those. And they are member exclusive events. So only a PoolTech member will be able to have access to them.
Sign up, people. Sign up.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that here in a second.
Yes.
I love that part of it too, John, because you have a program for the pool pros, but then you're doing extra promotion. So I'm assuming you do extra promotion. That means more money into the pocket?
Incentives.
Yes, extra incentives. Yes, yeah. So it's savings promotions, right? So you'll have a discount off or a free product or a BOGO event or whatever it is.
Ooh,
so
I like BOGO.
Yeah.
You know what that is, right, John? BOGO? You have to because your wife is a shopper. Yeah.
Exactly.
I am a Rouge member. For all you Sephora shoppers out there, you'll know what that means.
I'm going to have to Google that here really quick. What is Rouge? So, big shout out here to, man, they're killing me. You guys are killing me with these names. National Accounts at Heritage Pool Supply Group. What is that? John, read that name just because I'll botch it and you'll make fun of
Micah?
me.
Micah LaRue.
Micah.
I knew by the title. Micah.
Micah, big shout out to you out there, listening out there. We really appreciate that. So, do you guys have any more questions before we take our next word from our sponsors? Zach?
No, I think we covered a lot today.
Yeah, he's had his head down, so you know that Zach's into it when he's like doing this the whole time.
When we come back, I'll let everyone know where they can go to get the information.
Because he's advertising the Heritage logo. I love it.
Yes.
Tilt your head
down.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Zach.
Yes, yeah.
So let's take our final word from our sponsors. When we come back, we will get where you can sign up for the program. And Zach and John, I want to get your final thoughts.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add recurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. We are talking to Kim. We're talking to Robert. And I think, Kim, we need to start off by telling everybody where they can go sign up.
Yeah, absolutely. They can go to heritagepoolplus.com, and that is our commerce site where our customers go to actually purchase product. But if they go to that, heritagepoolplus.com, there'll be a PoolTech banner. They just click through, and it'll list out all the categories that we just discussed here today on the podcast, and then there'll be a membership application that they fill out. And as soon as they hit submit, if they're in the West, they'll be activated on the 21st, and if they're not, they will be activated as soon as the program hits their area.
That is great. So for all of our loyal listeners that tune in and listen, you know what? For those of you, and I know that a lot of you guys reach out, send me a message, and we're going to share next week a different place where you can go and you can register. But I'll tell you what, I think we should spill it for them too, right? So if you guys reach out to me, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever, and you want to figure out the different way to register for that program, which will actually give you an added something, and we'll disclose that when you reach out to me, send me a message, and then we'll send that to you. And what will happen is you'll be able to click on a link as well and register, and it'll go straight over to Heritage.
Yeah, and, from the Pool Nation app.
From the Pool Nation app. Yeah, there you go.
So I just wanted to reiterate, we are launching the program March 23rd at the Western Pool and Spa Show in Long Beach. If you're planning on attending the show, please come by our booth and see us. We have exciting giveaways that Robert mentioned. So if you apply to be a member during the show, we will raffle off prizes every day. I think there's 2 prizes.
We're going to do 2 a day.
Yeah. And we'll be drawing the names for those applications that are submitted during the show.
So everybody hold off until the Western show.
Well, you have to be attending the show.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying.
You have to,
and bring a dollar. You may walk out with a filter. You won't have to do that.
Yeah, but if you can't access the show, please apply online.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, John, I know that we were just talking while we were on break, and so one of the questions was talking about the partners that you guys are working with.
Yeah, we have some really great partners. We have Aquastar, we have Raypak, Orenda, Hasa. Let's see.
Did you say Aquastar? Because I know Todd wants to hear it.
I said
twice.
Aquastar, Todd. We said Aquastar.
Todd is listening. Todd is listening.
Yes. And we will have a much bigger line as soon as the 23rd hits. So we are just tying up some more products and making sure they fit. But again, our focus is trying to make sure we're getting products that are suited for the pool pro and what they do every day.
Thank you to Pool Nation. After Instagram, we got about 100 calls from vendors saying how do I. So nothing like advertising.
Can I confess that even I got calls?
Would you please get them to get me in?
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
Well, and to Robert's point, we want to work with anyone that wants to help the pool service professionals out there. So but definitely give us a call and we'll work with you.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Julissa Chavez.
BWT, sorry.
Yes.
I forgot BWT, but I already mentioned them in the event promotion.
Absolutely. Yeah. Texas Pool Supply. Bob, man, you guys are killing me with these last names.
Krolinger?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Shout out to you out there. Appreciate that. So anyway,
I just figured out I had a newfound talent, dude, that I can pronounce last names. I thought I always butchered them, but I think I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
They're not hard names, though. That's the reality.
Oh, thanks. Way to bust my, burst the bubble.
Struggling.
Yeah.
He tried to make a jab at me, but it came out to a jab to you that they were easy to pronounce.
Thanks, Zach.
Nothing like throwing him under the bus.
I would like to say to your listeners that, again, this is a starting point. We have a very long-term view of the program. It's like you said, where our mission is really to help elevate the professionals and the trade out there. And so hopefully you can see with all the different components of the program, we're seeking to do that.
And what I'm seeing too, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this isn't just a all right, we did this program, we're slapping it up, we're throwing it up there, and there it is, right? This is an ongoing thing.
Ongoing,
right? And
long
this is going to be around,
yes.
right? And it's not just okay, let's just do something, throw it up on the wall, and here it goes. It's never going to get updated, never going to get fixed, never going to be looked at. There's no one working on it. This is something that is here to stay.
Yeah.
Are you going to ride it till the wheels fall off, right?
Yeah. Well, we truly believe that it's going to help make the entire industry better, right? So all these components we talked about, improving pool service pros businesses, how they take care of swimming pools, making the swimming pool owner happy, but all of it elevates the entire industry.
The win for us, and John, you keep framing it perfectly, and all of the shout outs that we're giving the people that are online, it's our internal, it's culture. Well, we want everybody listening today, we want everybody when we launch this within Heritage to say, wow, you know what, I have to have that focus. Because look, we've got TMs, salespeople that are out in the field, they know where that builder's office is, they know where that retail, they do it, they love it. How do I find you? You're going 100 miles an hour. How do I get out there and find Zach? It's impossible. But when you show up at the counter, when you call on the phones, we want these people that are listening today, we want the people back at home to go, man, I believe in this. I get it. I get the message. And then we want you then to go, man, it's changing. Internally, they get it. It's not just about a rebate. It's not just about something for free. It's about, and they get it. They're changing their attitude. They're recognizing and they're making those internal changes that are going to be special to us. And that is what we want to happen. That's what we want a year from now, where you guys are saying, wow, when we call in, people just get it. When we go to the counter, people just get it. And we want our people to go, when I get it, it's going to change lives. And I firmly believe that, and I believe it's going to happen. And that is the long term. That's the long game.
Our branches will support the program too. So if anyone's not listening out there, you walk into one of our branches on the 23rd, you'll see lots of collateral and posters go up with QR codes to go sign up.
I did ask if they could use a picture of you for the collateral for the PoolTech program, and I forgot to ask you.
Oh, I feel like that's a great idea, because when you go to heritagepoolplus.com right now, might be a picture we got from one of the photo sites. I would love a better picture. I would love a picture of service pros, both a man and a woman, cleaning the pools. Yeah. Or that would be great. That would be great. Yes.
Let's talk.
Yes,
let's make something happen.
Yeah.
Let's come up with.
If you want to be the face of PoolTech.
No. I'm saying let's put a little program together and we'll get it out.
Yes,
we'll find somebody. So I've been told many times that I can't, because I can't grow a beard, that I'm not allowed to do that. So, Zach, let me get your final thoughts.
Yeah. So we covered a lot of exciting things today. And what was really exciting about it is how passionate you both are. And it's obvious we've got a lot of people checking in on the chat and thing from Heritage. You talk about culture. I'm going to go back to the nomination event and the people that I got to meet there at the actual facility. And it's just very apparent how passionate you all are about this. And I love the fact that this program's developed to be, like you were saying, inclusive of everyone, that anyone can participate at any level and take advantage of this reward program. And going into the education piece, I know Edgar, John, and I are so passionate about that. We think that's huge. I think it's very important to our industry. And I'm excited to see our industry continue this leveling up and continue to start thinking like business professionals, rather than in the simple terms, just going out and doing the job that we're faced with in the backyard. But how do we create better businesses, more profitability, grow these? And then in the long run, that benefits everyone, like John was saying. So I want to say thank you for coming on today and sharing this. And I'm just so happy that the tea has finally been spilled, because it's been a long time coming. So, but again, thank you. And I'm excited to see how the rollout goes and hear all about that.
Well, I'm not going to start until you say something.
We're doing a pause here because John and I go gunslinger. Just wait. John will not speak unless I go, John, a final thought. So I always have to cave. John, final thoughts.
Thank you, Edgar. Look, and I always have to go last, right? Because one, I usually talk a lot. But that's probably the reason why. But also, when Zach does his final thoughts, he says it very well. And I have the opportunity to say, ditto, my friend, you nailed it on that one. So that's exactly it. And you obviously know I'm excited, right? And everybody I've spoken to about the changes that are happening, not specifics, but, changes of what's happening, are very excited as well. And I've seen a shift of attitude overall from all the guys and girls that I speak to through the course of the day, the week, the month, the year. And there are many where it's a much more positive attitude opposed to such a how like I'm drowning, trying to tread water, trying to make things happen, or I'm seeing that positive shift and that change. And I think this is going to be the boost, or it's going to be a propellant. It's going to help get us there even further and take us in the right direction. And what's so exciting about it is it's coming from a company like yourselves, right? This is, we talked about the little man and the voice, and it's hard to get there. But when you have a serious player in the game, right, with people that are dedicated and share the same vision, right, you guys can help move mountains, right? You really can. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you guys for realizing how important that service provider is out there, right? That one poler, that guy or girl out there busting their ass, doing 30 pools, 40 pools, 50 pools, 10 pools, just starting, right? And how important they are and how vital they are to this industry and making it work. And educating them and helping them be better at what they do, it ultimately is going to be great for everybody. Not just Heritage, but everybody.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's what it's really about. And side note, I'm excited that that I get to spend some money not on just business cards. Never mind, sorry. But I'm excited to be a part of the program and to jump in it. So thank you.
We haven't signed you up for it yet, John.
I'm not going to be.
We're going to go through a background check on your account before we even get that.
I spend a lot of money through distribution, and at the end of the year, I have a lot of business cards that I get to get. So I'm excited.
I will tell you this. So, and I know we didn't talk about percentages and any of that kind of stuff, but I've done the math and had the conversation with Zach. But we did the math with kind of Zach stuff. And Zach, I hope you don't get mad at me, but I'm going to share the number. We were doing the math. His check this year would not check. His rebates would be probably
his credit he can use.
Thank you. Would be at least probably a little bit over $15,000. And
substantial number.
That's huge,
yeah.
John. And I know that you're
I'm like ear to ear right now.
Yeah,
Look at me right now. I can't stop smiling.
So when I was doing the math, and I forgot to talk to John about it. So John is very much about, I use this card and I get this percentage back, and we go out to eat, and he uses this card because this card gives him more for this. And so I forgot to tell you, John. It's like you do the math and then add that to your crazy. You should go out to dinner with him. By the way, it's a total experience, and it's like everything that they buy is where's our percentage. And we're getting that and maximizing it. But John, you're talking, we're talking some big bucks.
You know what? That reminds me of something real quick. And I don't think we emphasize this or brought it up. And maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is in conjunction with all other programs from manufacturers, right?
Absolutely.
So if you're with Pentair PIP points, or you're with Fluidra and the rewards, the money you receive from there, you're not going to be. It's in conjunction with it. Correct?
Yeah, we're not interfering with anything they're doing with you.
So if I buy a Jandy pump from Heritage, right, I'm going to get the incentive from Heritage.
Correct.
And that dollar amount is going to apply to my Jandy annual or whatever dollar amount, so I can be whatever tier I'm at.
Correct.
And then also the money that is being saved is on the back end, so it's not going to be like, oh, if you have $200 or whatever, that pump, how does it work? So if the pump is, I don't want to put dollars out there, but X amount of dollars, and then I save $200 off of it, or I can apply to a certain statement, it's not necessarily going to take away from the Jandy dollar amount.
None whatsoever.
No.
Perfect. So how beautiful is that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And that's where we hope the vendors lean in and go, hey, this is your opportunity to double dip. Heritage is going to help you do that. Take our service-specific products, and you're really going to be able to help yourself.
Yeah. And so my final thoughts, and normally I don't do final thoughts, but I've been spending some time with Kim a lot, and we went through the program and really sunk in last night. And that was that I really want to talk again about the program and the depth to every part of it, right? You have not the rebates. I've been told not rebates, rewards, right? Rewards. So you have the rewards. You're getting your percentage.
It's like cash rewards.
Cash rewards, like Sephora, right? Yeah. So you have a financial impact to the program. You have an educational impact to the program. You have a voice element to the program where you're being able to get in front of it and get a voice, right? And then on top of that, typical what you guys are getting to be very known for, the events, the concerts, all that kind of stuff.
We throw a pretty good party.
I haven't been to one, but I've heard that they're pretty awesome. So we're going to have to go to the next one. But then there's that element and the added promotions to it. So it's something that's very well thought out, hits and checks every box, right? But then the thing that excites me the most is that it's absolutely inclusive. And a guy that buys one bucket of tabs because he's got 5 pools that he's servicing a month qualifies, and the guy that buys
by the pallet.
By the pallet, right?
Yes.
And for us as Pool Nation, we've screamed from the top of the roof all the time that we need to worry about the people that are coming into the industry, because if we want to elevate the industry, we have to focus on them because they're the future of the industry. And so like we like to talk about, we focus a lot of our energy on those newer pool pros because we know that we can't make that change in a year or two. But to us, it's let's look at it in 10 years and see what change we've been able to make. And so we get super excited when we have companies like you that we can yell from the rooftop, right? But we can only move so much. But you're the megaphone that's going to make that go even further. And the fact that you guys are completely as passionate about it as we are just gets us super, super excited. So I'm super excited to work with you guys. I'm super excited about this program. Everybody out there, you need to sign up. I did already get a message here. Hi, Edgar. Enjoyed the podcast today. You mentioned to reach out to you for something extra to sign up for the PoolTech program. So they're listening. So Matt, I will send you that so that you can download that and you can send that information out there. And then next week, we will be talking about something that we're going to be releasing out there at the Western as well. And we've partnered with you guys on it as well, but we'll talk about that on the different one. So we're super excited. Super excited. We're going to be at the Western Show. We're going to be teaching 10 classes out there. Come and join us, everybody out there. And
please come see us.
Yes,
absolutely. Can't wait.
Absolutely. So, Kim,
I'm signing up at the Western.
All right.
You're waiting to sign up at the Western? Really?
He wants to be part of that raffle. He wants to be part of that raffle.
Right?
Like, I got a tool for you to sign up before. And you're going to, you want...
Nope. We're doing it at the Western. And I'm bringing my dollar.
Yeah.
And you're bringing your dollar.
Dave will be at the Western. Andrew will be at the Western. So
that's awesome. Are you going to be there, Robert?
Yes,
all right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Kim, thank you so much for all of your effort. By the way, Kim, complete hats off to you. Last thing, I just want everybody to know that the work that went in to get this thing done in 3 months is absolutely amazing. There's so many moving parts, and to watch it from that day being the fly on the wall to getting this thing to, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think that you guys would be able to pull it off.
Yeah, well, every time you say that, I have to thank my team at Heritage, because all I do is put the to-dos up, and they actually do all the hard work.
Amazing stuff. Robert, thanks so much for coming out.
Welcome.
It was awesome to finally meet you, because we hadn't had a chance to meet. So anyways, everybody, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Catch us next Wednesday on our Instagram Live. Spider, big shout out to you for all your help as usual. Have a great weekend, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or PoolNationPodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at Pool.Nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to PoolInvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. PoolmanUniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at PoolmanUniversity.com.